is heavy friending. I'm friending you so hard. An alliance slowly forming like a boner in my heart. So if you wanna fucking friend me, better give me all you got. No, I don't take this lightly, cause it's heavy, heavy friending.
There is an eagle flying. Yeah!
Hi, frienders. It's me, Laura Lee Bishop. Welcome to Heavy Friending. All right. So on today's agenda, we have... what's that? Who is that?
Today's agenda.
That's
That's
how I'd start it by myself.
Format sounds really good. Just you, and there's an agenda right off the top.
There's an agenda. Yeah. And I thank God you leaped in right there, because I was like going to have to start looking around the room and seeing if something sparked something for me. So I don't have an agenda.
Wanted to hear that podcast. It sounded really engaging.
It did. It sounded it sounded like maybe it was like a news thing, maybe.
Yeah, like not a news thing, more like a city council meeting.
I was going to say town hall, a town hall meeting. Oh my goodness! Speaking of town hall, well, hang on. Let's do what we have to do, right?
You got real scared. I just want to point that out. You panicked.
Yeah, I panicked.
You panicked.
Actually, it's funny because I have this Gremlins stuffed doll just staring at me. It's a new addition to my like desk toys. It's actually a little bit off-putting. I'm going to turn it away from me and see if that helps the energy in the room.
Okay. Do you want to do your agenda or what?
Yeah, no. Let's introduce the podcast. This is Heavy Friending, Austin's. Okay, let's talk about that. This is Austin's #1 friendship-based podcast. Okay. Yeah. And word on the street is there's some other friendship-based podcasts in this town. And just to clarify, this is Austin's #1 friendship-based podcast.
Yeah. And this podcast, we're not even going to say the name. I don't even know the name for sure. But it's
because it's irrelevant.
It has like friends in the title and Austin in the title. Mm-hmm. And it's like copyright infringement much.
Exactly. It's like, have your own ideas at all? Ever heard of an original thought?
Ever try... our podcast has been around for nearly 3 years, and you started in maybe April. Yeah,
like we've been on the air almost a decade, and you've been on for like 2 days.
You grew up with us, and
and if you're inspired by us, I totally get it. Mm-hmm. But when you're inspired by something, you have to pay homage to that thing. You need to show respect there. Homage.
Okay.
Am I saying that incorrectly?
I thought you said it a different way the first time.
I may have. I don't know. I may have. Because let me tell you, I'm a little bit frazzled right now.
Okay.
I had one of those days where you stack some things up back to back, and you try to get a lot in and a lot done. And I don't operate well that way. You know what I mean? I'm like a one thing a day kind of person, where I have to really like work up my brain to that one thing. And so then when there's multiple things, I get a little bit frazzled, and I forget how to speak. I forget where I am, who I am, what even this podcast is. I mean, when we started this, I thought I was at a town hall meeting.
I know.
I was going to start, talking about the new city ordinances. Or I couldn't say ordinance.
Yeah, I'm worried about you. See, I think you and we're on opposite ends of the spectrum, but we have the same problems, which is my problem is I can't speak, but it's not because I've used too much brain power. It's because I've used almost no brain power. I haven't spoken out loud for days.
Really?
It's a strange experience. Well, so I talk to myself.
Oh, good, because I talk to myself a lot too.
I sing to myself. But yeah, I don't think I've talked to a person for, at least a couple of days.
Well, that's why I'm here, buddy. We're talking. Okay.
This is good for me.
Yeah.
I'm exercising muscles that I don't normally use.
Yeah, it's good for me too. Actually, this podcast is a release for me in a lot of ways because there's things that build up that you want to talk about, like this other podcast in town that's kind of, it's kind of bugging me a little. It's like, you're a little bit on our turf here.
Yeah.
And what I was saying with that sentence when I said homage in a weird way was you need to pay tribute.
Yes.
Okay. So if you're going to draw your inspiration from us, which is clearly what is going on, I would like you to reach out and then also maybe dedicate something to us or do something in our honor.
Right.
Or make some sort of sacrifice, or erect a statue. There's a lot of different ways to pay homage.
Sure.
I'm going to try to say it.
The point is, you need to respect the originators.
That's right.
Conan also famously ripped off this podcast.
Very famously.
Famously. And he also, his podcast, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, he has not paid homage or homogenization. He hasn't done that.
Not once. Not once. And, I don't want to get like spiritual or anything, but there is a spiritual component. There is a spiritual component to podcasts. And I think that's something we all know. And it's not something we have to express with words, but it is something we feel. And so there's spirits involved here. And so when you start tampering in some of this stuff, you just have to be careful. And that's all I'm saying. It's not a threat or anything like that. It's a promise. So just keep that in mind.
That's an inspirational thought you had there. You can check that off the old agenda because
Yes, it is. Oh, hang on. Let me. I don't check things. I cross them out.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to cross that out where I said inspirational thought. That was actually number 4.
Wow, we jumped ahead.
So yeah, we did a little bit.
Well, I think I know. I assume I know what number 1 was, which was explaining this podcast.
Oh, and we did skip that.
Yeah. And also I haven't even said, hi, my name is Joe.
Oh, okay. So let's do that part now. Okay. Wait 1 second though. Item 1 on the agenda is introduce the podcast.
Okay.
And let me introduce our first speaker, Mr. Joe Barlow. You have 3 minutes.
Hi. Whoa, that's way too long.
Well, that's just required by the state. We have to offer everyone at least 3 minutes.
What do I say at the end? I concede my time, or what is it?
Yes, that would be great if you would say that. Just say, well, we actually like to say I relinquish my time. That's what we want to say here.
Hi. Okay. And now my time starts now, or
your time begins.
Is it going?
It's been going.
Okay.
So great. You're about a minute in.
Hi, my name is Joe. This is a podcast, one of the first podcasts ever about friendship. Certainly the first one in Austin, Texas. And that is why we are Austin's number 1 friendship-based podcast. Despite what these rogue podcasts, these imitator podcasts would have you believe, we are the number 1 friendship-based podcast. Everything else is just an imitation. And it's sad. This podcast started almost 3 years ago. Actually, we probably started recording about exactly 3 years ago because we didn't release until October. But we met as complete strangers, Laura and I, and we developed a bond, a friendship, episode by episode, by doing various activities. Now we're the best of friends and we host the best of podcasts. I'd like to relinquish my time.
All right. All in favor? Aye. The motion passes 1-0.
Okay.
And
great.
we'll note that in the, what do they call it? Put it in the
minutes.
In the minutes. Yes, that is in the minutes.
We're not good with words.
We don't have to be. It's not like this is language based. Like I said, this is spiritual. I don't have to say words. I can think something right now. I'm thinking something. Okay. What am I thinking about?
Well, is this on the agenda or is this?
That's actually, well, it's number 9, but
okay.
I don't, I skip around sometimes. It just depends on
Do I have to time
meeting.
You or how does that work?
No, you do not. I don't have, there's no time limits on anything that I say and no rules whatsoever. Okay. What am I thinking right now? That's time. Mr. Barlow?
That's my time to start?
Yes, that's
Well, I
your
was
time.
taking
Your
it
time
in.
is
I thought
up.
it was a deeper thought than that.
Oh, it's very deep. I just thought you'd get it very quickly.
Oh, is it something to do with our off mic conversation?
You know what? A little bit. For the
Okay.
listener, I started my period. Okay.
Mhm.
And my tummy hurts. And
Yeah.
that little bit of ache there is always going to be, it's always going to be there a little bit until my period is gone. And that's just a circle of life. And here on this podcast, we do normalize the period. That is something we've been doing for a very long time.
Mhm.
And I've talked about my period so many, and if I had the tenacity like I used to have, I would go back and I would find every time I'd mention my period and I would do a super cut of it right here. But there's just no way. At this point, we have too many episodes to even do that anymore. We've been around so long. Someone would say we were the original, friendship-based podcast in Austin.
I think I said that.
And that all others are imitators. But they do say mimicry is a form of flattery. So we are flattered by the copycats and the impersonators out there. And just, you know what I say? Good luck. Good luck to you. Okay, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck keeping up with this, because look at this. We have an agenda on this podcast.
Okay.
Do you have that?
No.
Okay. There is something I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
It's not like a huge thing, but I did talk about this on the podcast about the troll doll with the button on its vagina.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I talked about this on the bonus episode or if I talked it on the real episode. And that I think is going to become a problem for us.
Right.
In later episodes, is remembering what we said on the podcast that most people hear. And then again, if you go to patreon.com/heavyfriending, we have a bonus episode every week now. That's a new thing we're doing. And so you'll get like a whole other episode, and oftentimes they're much longer and much less funnier.
Yeah, and most people would say it's not worth it.
Yeah, most people would say it, like, why would I want to listen to this? It's just two people talking, and they're not even trying to entertain me. But that's some people's thing, and
that's some people. That's a lot of people are saying.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. My sister told me this morning, but
are you serious?
No, she actually said she was happy that she listened to all the episodes, and she was happy she had something to look forward to, something extra to listen to. So that is, if you really like this podcast, that's nice. You listen to the episodes and you think you're all done. Hey, no, you're not. You got an hour and a half of us talking about the DNC. Okay.
Yeah. Because our analysis was required. No one else was talking about it.
No. Remember when you were a little kid and your parents would have a dinner party and all the adults would sit around the table and they'd talk about really boring stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was almost like they just wanted to hear themselves talk. And you're like, what the fuck? But it was also kind of comforting because it was time for you to go to bed and you could hear their voices, their muffled voices coming from the kitchen. And so it's like that. It's like a comfort, but it's also boring. And I love that. I love we're doing that, Anyway, let me update you on this troll doll. So I talked about the troll doll, whether it was on the regular episode or not. There was some doll that they put out from the movie Trolls that had some sort of a thing that when you touched its crotch, it would go like, ooh. And people were very upset about it. They ended up pulling the doll. Turns out this is some QAnon thing that the sensor down there, it's not a button, it's a sensor. And the sensor is there so it can sense when the doll sits down. And that they hyped it up into this huge thing. And I fed into it because I talked about it.
Wait, I thought there was like video and stuff.
There is a video, and it's not a button, it's a sensor. However, like in all fairness, it is a really poorly placed sensor. And a bad noise happens when the noise and the sensor combined is just not good. And they should have pulled the thing, but I was kind of like, damn, I was like a little bit the victim of a hoax type thing.
Well, this is the problem with QAnon is they sort of like post stuff that's like, oh, of course, everyone should agree that this is like a bad thing that's happening. And then they slowly warp your mind and have you believe these very outlandish and untrue things.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw a meme today that was like, what you should do when you're confronted with things like that is you should say something even more outlandish. So if someone were to say the moon landing was faked, you would say, oh, you're one of those people that believes in the moon.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then what does that
flip it
do?
on them because they don't know where to go from there. You just flip it on them. Flip it on them. So just whenever you're confronted with something outlandish, one up them.
But is that supposed to help them, or is that just supposed to make it so you don't have to talk to them anymore?
Make it so you don't have to talk to them anymore.
Okay.
That's how you do it.
Because that's a good solution.
Well, that's kind of our goal with all of those type of people, right? Have you watched any of the RNC? Of
course I have.
Oh, see, I haven't. I turned it on for about, I don't even know if I made it a full 60 seconds. Actually, I made it the first day, I made it about 30 seconds. And then I got so upset, I had to turn it off. And then last night I saw some of Melania's speech that she gave. And whoa.
You didn't like it?
I laughed several times.
I mean, it's funny. I don't know. I thought she actually did a pretty good speech, but I don't think she sold the president very well.
Well, no, it's funny because it's so hypocritical. Like the things that they say are just so ridiculous. Like I'm not saying she did a bad job. It's just funny to hear the things out of her mouth that she's saying because it's not based on reality and like the reality of the situation. It's just funny to watch someone when she was saying we need to come together as we saw last week, with the DNC and how divided they try to make our country. And we have to rise above that. it's just man, it's a weird time to be here on this planet.
Yes.
And
but the asteroid will take care of that.
Well, okay. And that's another thing. Do we have to do that at this point in time?
What?
I see people posting about this asteroid and I click on it and they said that it's like a 0.04% chance. And it's also super tiny.
Yeah.
So do we need that right now?
Do we need to talk about that?
No, yeah. Do people in this world need to be seeing that and thinking about an asteroid or a meteor crashing into our planet at this point with everything going on? We're all on fucking edge. Do we need even if it's just you click on it and you see, we don't even need that going into our brains right now. We have enough.
I think it's great. I like seeing it. It's nice to have a little bit of hope in my life that, something could take us all out.
Actually, that's a good way to look at it. I like that we can, that we offer different perspectives and that we can, you can find a silver lining.
That's really what I do all day. Although I was going to say this is on my personal agenda for today.
Oh, good.
Is that, it's hard for me to talk about stuff on this podcast because I'm not experiencing anything in the real world. I'm only consuming media and social media. And so I don't have anything interesting to say that's not based on something that I read pretty much.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I don't have too much, unless it's about music stuff, because it's just I wake up, I sit down at my computer and the day goes by and then that's it. That's all there is to it. I am doing yoga every day. I've been doing yoga. I did it yesterday and today with my cousin Drew in Minneapolis. She's doing a Zoom yoga, it is one of those things like with COVID where it's it sucks really bad, whatever, you can't do anything, but it has, my cousin, I never see my cousin and now I'm seeing her 3 times a week. So it's kind of nice. But I'm actually doing it tomorrow and Andrew is going to come over and do it with me. And it's super hard. So I'm a little bit worried how he's going to get through it. We'll see.
You were trying to get me to do this.
Yeah, I want you to do it.
So it's hard. Why would I want to do that?
Because it's a good workout.
I don't need to participate in a hard workout.
It is. It's so hard. Well, she has you do these pretty intense flows and they go on for so long to the point where you're will this ever end? And then when it finally does end, then she makes you hold this one posture for like 3 fucking minutes to where you're just losing your mind. And she says things like, your body is, you may be uncomfortable. You're live in that discomfort, experience that discomfort, understand what that discomfort means in your body. And then the whole time you're like, I am going to kill you. I'm going to fucking go to Minneapolis. I'm going to get in my car when this is done and I'm driving to Minneapolis. And then at the end, when it's all said and done, you feel so good that you forgot you were ever mad.
Wow. That's the biggest scam I've ever heard. That's like some QAnon shit. But I will say that I think this is something about me. This must say, you tell me what this means about me. But okay. Because I've been doing basically the same, occasionally I'll do a different one, but I basically do the same workout video every time I work out.
Is it, don't tell me, let me hang on what it's called.
No, you don't know what it is.
Oh, okay. Cause I thought it was,
no, it's a new one.
8-minute abs.
It's not 8-minute abs. That one I'll do occasionally, but now I do cardio kickboxing because I'm not really trying to, gain muscle. I'm just trying to keep the fat at bay with
right.
some cardio stuff. And my legs get real meaty when I do a lot of strength training. Although they get meaty from cardio kickboxing because there's a lot of squats and stuff.
Actually, didn't someone once tell you something? You had meaty thighs?
Yeah, basically.
A boss my old in boss. A work environment. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he said that. He also said something like, if I worked out, I could really have like big thighs.
Okay.
Like they're
so
big.
Inappropriate.
They could be even bigger. And it was good.
Yeah.
But maybe that makes me think about my thighs more than most people. But I do think I have big thighs. And then it is like they get real big when I do a lot of these squats. So, but yeah, that's like, and same thing with like food. Like I tend to eat a lot of the same meals all the time. So what does that mean that I want to do the same thing every time?
Well, you're a creature of habit. And that can be good in some ways if you have a healthy schedule that you adhere to, but it can also be limiting. I think in some ways, when I met you, you were, I guess you don't like to, sometimes you don't like to get too far out of that comfort zone. There's a place where you feel you're not being challenged or pushed or pressured and you like it in there. And so sometimes we get stuck in there. Do I sound like a therapist right now? Cause I feel like I feel like I'm killing it right now.
You sound like one. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm killing it. Yes. I think I'm killing it.
I'm getting the impression you think it's really
you get good. That you think that I think. Okay, great. Yeah. Excellent.
I don't know if it's
that was, good. Thank you so much for that. And I hear you and I listen and I take that in.
I do think you're hearing what you want to hear.
I thank you so much.
Out of your own mouth and and out of my mouth
yes,
as well.
Those are great points that you're making. But yeah, I do think you are a creature of habit in a lot of ways, but it's like I was talking to my sister today. It's one of those things like,
you were talking to your sister a lot.
When you, did I say that earlier?
Yeah.
About what?
She said something about, not liking the
because she liked
episode.
The podcast. Oh, yeah. That was all that I was in the same conversation. I was saying, hi, Rach. Hey, Rachel. I'm telling her hi right now. Hi, Rachel. Hello.
Oh, is her name Rachel? That's weird.
Yeah, that's her name.
Okay.
Hi, Rach.
So when you say hi, Rachel, you're talking to
Rachel, my sister.
Rachel, your sister. Okay.
Hi, Rach.
That's crazy.
I know,
it was unclear to me.
Well, now you know. Now everyone knows. Hey, Rachel, my sister.
Okay. She's never been on the podcast.
She hasn't. She would be a good guest, I think. My mom's been on. We have to get your parents on one day.
That's probably.
I don't know what I was saying now, but it was a good point.
You were talking about Rachel.
I was saying when someone invites you to something and you're like, ugh, and you don't want to do it. You don't want to fucking go. Now, granted, these days you'd probably be fucking thrilled if you could go somewhere. But back then we were spoiled. We didn't know how good we had it, that we could go places and people were inviting us to things. And so you would be like, ugh, and you didn't want to go. But then when you went, you realized, hey, I'm glad I came. I'm glad I did the thing. And so one thing about you is you don't like to get outside of your comfort zone, but when you do, you have a good time.
See, I don't think that's true. And I'm glad you gave your little speech, your doctor-esque speech.
Thank you, Dr-esque. Wow. Thank you. I mean, I wouldn't go that far. I would say maybe a master's level, but okay.
All right.
PhD.
Well, I wasn't saying it was. I was saying you interpreted it as being a doctor's speech.
Well, okay.
Here's what I think.
So did you, but
And I asked you the question because I was curious what you would say, and you fell into my trap. So who's the real master's degree artist? That's me.
Mine's doctorate. I have a PhD.
You said master's, so
I was. But once you said doctor,
scenario,
sure.
I really, for workouts, I like doing the same thing because then you can kind of see how you feel each time after doing the same thing. Do you feel better? Can you go harder? And you have that understood metric of like how your normal level is, and then you can see how you're doing. For food, I think it's a similar thing where it's like I know how to make it.
How does it taste this time?
And then you sort of gauge like. Although I will say I think mostly for food, it's just when you have to give yourself insulin and you want to make sure there's just certain meals you kind of learn how to. For the listener,
Joe is a type 1 diabetic.
I'm an insulin dependent human. These insulin prices, oh my gosh. I mean,
through the roof.
It's expensive over here.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think with food, but I do think I go outside of my comfort zone. You know how, didn't they say like Einstein wore like the same thing every day?
I didn't know that, but that's interesting.
This might be a QAnon thing, but Einstein wore the same thing. And I think it's because he used his brain power for other more important matters. And I like to think of it that way, where I am conserving brain power and saving it for my creative endeavors, like this podcast that I put 150% of myself into.
Yeah. It's interesting because earlier you said that you didn't use your brain at all today.
Yes,
and
that's
so
what I'm saying. I was
speak.
conserving all day for this.
And this is what has come out from it.
This is my creative output.
The result.
And I think the listeners are going to notice a huge difference between you and I.
I think so too. One is a doctor level sort of mind master, and the other is someone who hasn't used his brain all day and is over here.
You can't also be a master. I'm the master. You're the doctor.
Dr. Mind Master is what I want to go by.
Well, no, you don't get both. I'm the master. I'm masters of mind mastery. And you're a doctor of the mind arts.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'd rather be master of the mind master. Did
anything I said resonate with you?
No.
So nothing. You don't think you're a creature of habit, even though you just said you do the same thing all the time and you eat the same foods?
I am a creature of habit.
And you do like to get outside of your comfort zone.
I think that was the biggest part that I disagree with, is that I do go outside of my comfort zone.
When?
I went to your house.
That's true. You did. And when you did it, you were glad you did it. Like I had said, right? Didn't want to, but then you're glad you did it.
I don't necessarily mind going outside of my comfort zone.
I'm
going on a virtual date tomorrow.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that, but I didn't want to ask while the tape was rolling because I assumed that was going on, because that's why you couldn't hang out with me. And I assumed the only reason would be that you had a date with someone, because that would be the only thing.
We can talk about dating more on our bonus episodes, because then we know exactly who's listening.
We know someone's not going to make it into a podcast of their own about you.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, we would know who the subscribers are to our Patreon. And then I could talk about people who are not our subscribers on the Patreon.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's true. So
I'm
pretty
saying.
much everyone.
So just a majority of people. So
we should
talk shit about everyone who doesn't who is not a patron, we can talk shit about on the bonus
100%.
episode.
Well, I'd love to do that. I'd do it anyway, but I'll save it for the.
That's
I'll save it for
that's
the
what
thing.
the people want. They're paying for that juice.
The juice. Yeah. Well, you know what? I've been trying to be a little more positive. I'm going to say it. I have been trying to be a little more positive.
I inspired you.
Pardon?
That's great that I inspired you.
But when?
Is the connection okay on your end?
Well, when did you inspire me and how?
Just by being an optimistic person.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Because, we talked
me.
about paying homage to people and you didn't pay it to me for being Mr. Positivity.
Thank you for being so positive. Let me ask you this. You said you've been watching the RNC. What's your overall take on it?
Here's the thing. I'm a little upset because you came on the episode late tonight and, we're missing.
Oh, there's something you want to watch.
Well, I only watch the primetime stuff. I watch starting at 9 Central Time, end at 10 Central Time. And so then I think the problem is if you're watching some of these, the craziest people are probably not in the prime time, although prime time is certainly full of them. But I watch it and sometimes I can kind of, glean maybe a message that they're trying to get out. But I think the problem is they don't really have a message other than Trump good.
Trump good. Biden
we
bad.
Like Trump.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a little Biden bad, but it's mostly Trump good. He best. And it's a thoughtful, nuanced message.
It is. We are different. I mean, we're different. You and I are different in a lot of ways. We're similar in a lot of ways. But one of the ways in which we're different is you are much more patient and tolerant of other people's opinions than I am. I have like a zero tolerance policy for bullshit. I just have zero. I cannot hear it. I cannot see or the perspective. I cannot entertain it at all. And so when I turn it on, I last it takes me about 30 seconds and then I'm like ready to fucking go. I'm like, where does she live? I'm going there. I get so mad. I start looking them up on social media. I'm going to tweet something to them. I just get so fucking angry. I can't even hate watch it and kind of enjoy it and laugh and giggle. Mm-hmm. I just get so fucking mad and then I can't sleep. And I'm like, I'm going to punch a wall. So that is something I could learn from you.
Thank you. I am the master of mind mastery.
Well, I didn't say that, but
I think the thing that maybe has changed me a little bit, I think especially recently, is that I do want to persuade people. And I don't think the best way to persuade people is to dismiss them or, just be like, that's completely stupid. Even though, a lot of times I want to say that to people, but I'm trying to convert people. And so I'm trying to be like, when I post something now on Facebook, I'm like, will this lead to a productive conversation or will it just get people to roll their eyes and be like, I'm not reading that. So I try to be more deliberate. And I try and be more deliberate in my responses and not just say this is a really stupid idea, but whatever, even though I do think that's my instinct, but I try and take a breath. I've also deleted tweets that I've put out because I'm like, it's not productive. Because sometimes I think, especially on social media, you get distracted by the allure of getting a like or getting a share or getting people to be like, yeah. And if I was more interested in likes, then I would say stuff that's more like, fuck these people. Because then all the people on the certain side would like your stuff. So I'm trying to be more open-minded, even though I'm sure some people still are like, he's, an asshole.
Mine isn't for likes. I just get so angry. It makes me feel good to say something real nasty to someone. It makes me feel good. It's like a nice, release, it's a nice release. And I don't think it's helpful to my career. I think it probably alienates certain groups of people. But then again, I'm going to say something nasty. I don't want Trump supporting fans particularly. So I guess
do you want former Trump supporting fans? That's what I want.
This is where you and I differ, is that I think that you, in my personal opinion, I think you're a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for?
Kind?
No, that's not the word.
Okay, well, that's a word.
I think you're a little bit too optimistic in how you think that people are going to be convinced, because I just think we're coming from two different places. I come from a really small farm town full of these fucking people, and I grew up my whole life trying to be that way that you're saying, and trying to, if I'll show them this and I'll tell them that, and I'll explain this, and I have learned over the course of, I'm not going to say how old I am because I'm lying about my age, for a long time, about 70 years. And I don't think I've ever had a convert, and people just don't really seem to change much, and actually double down when confronted with reality. Even when I just watched this documentary, even when this police officer is shown right in front of him, doubles down on bullshit. And so, people just, they suck. What can I say?
I do find it fascinating that now, I think especially now, you can show people the same piece of information or the same video or, whatever it is, and people can react completely differently and interpret entirely different meanings out of it. I think it's a fascinating, I studied, I got a double major.
At Drake University.
Two undergraduate degrees. One was in, of course, broadcast
journalism
news, and then the other was in rhetoric. And Aristotle, he defined rhetoric as the ability in any case to see the available means of persuasion. And so, as a student of Aristotle's, I personally like to examine the different forms of argument and try and see the rhetorical perspectives evident in each and every case.
Okay.
So that's just kind of what I think.
So have you converted anyone over? And
No.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we're hanging in there, guys. It's not easy. I'm sure everyone's starting to get, I'm starting to hit that slump a little bit here, where I'm getting I think a lot of us are vacillating between, okay, everything's fine, and then having just those like moments of panic.
Yes.
And I think I'm right now in between, where I was everything's fine maybe this weekend, and I think I'm starting to approach a moment of panic. And who knows, that may have something to do with my current menstruation. Or it could just be the fact that, I have been inside my home. I have not left my house in a while. It's been a while. So trying to do the best I can. I am going to be playing. I have a live stream thing I'm doing tomorrow. So I'm excited about that.
Which will be in the past when this comes out.
Yes, but I will probably be airing it on YouTube at some point. Okay. But I'm trying my best to play in any way I can. I'm going to go to a drive-in show this weekend, which is like maybe a new way we'll be doing shows in the future, I hope.
A drive-in concert?
Yeah. Oh. So it's some local artists, and it's in a big pasture, and you pay per car, and you put a picnic blanket down, and the cars separate each group of people, your car. So it's like there's a wall there, your car's there. And
that's a great idea.
Outside. Yeah. So I'll see, if that seems safe, and maybe I'll play one of those. And then I'm just hanging in there. And I hope you out there, you listeners, are too. And Rachel, I hope you are as well. My sister, Rachel.
Oh, your sister. Okay. Good.
My sister, yeah.
Mm-hmm. When you say Rachel, I'm like, my cousin?
You know her better. You know her better as Rach. I'll say Rach next time, and then you'll know.
Well, Rachy Poo is really what
Rachel dude. Yeah. So we're trying, guys. We're trying. We're here for you, and we're trying to keep you entertained as best we can.
Oh, that actually reminds me. We're gonna release this more formally But I told you about this, Laura. This may be surprising that I'm bringing it up on the podcast, but we have a heavy friending phone number now.
Oh yeah.
And so people can call in, leave a message, and then we'll be able to play back your message. We want to help you out. We want to hear your problems. We want to hear maybe you have a triumph. We'll just share some good news because we're optimists here.
Yeah. Or pitches.
Maybe,
you got a pitch for something, you know?
You got a pitch. Maybe you got maybe you're a Trump supporter and you don't like what we've been saying, and maybe you want to fact check us on some stuff.
Sure,
or QAnon check
that.
us. Whatever
and please
it is,
leave your social media handle so that I can tweet at you. If you were to do that,
you will know. Yeah. So maybe don't do that unless you want that sort of abuse. But our phone number is, grab a pencil.
We'll give them a second.
Grab a sheet of scratch paper.
Mm-hmm. We'll stall a little bit more so they have time, because sometimes they have to go downstairs to the old junk drawer or whatever and get a pen or something.
And if they're driving, we might have to wait 10 minutes for them to get to the destination.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll drag it out.
We don't want them to speed to do that.
Yeah, and definitely don't pull out your phone and text it into your phone, because that's dangerous.
Don't do that. Maybe if you have a passenger, maybe the passenger could safely take it down somewhere, maybe in their phone.
That's true. That's true.
But if you're driving alone in your car, definitely don't worry about it. We're going to wait 10 minutes now.
Yeah, it'll be at least 10 minutes, but we could even go for a full, because somebody may be on a long drive. It could be like a road trip. So so we may need to go about 4 or 5 hours. And I'm sure there's a lot. Yeah, and there's a lot we could talk about. I think
the key is it's better to wait longer than it is to wait shorter, because the people who are ready now can just wait with everyone else.
Yeah, you guys can wait. I have a couple statements I want to make in this time. Soybeans are disgusting. They're gross. I don't know why anyone would put them in trail mix, but it's apparently something that people are doing, and it's disgusting. And please stop. I'd also like to say fruit flies. What the fuck? Where do they come from? And why you get one and then there's 10 fucking thousand? Where are the eggs? How do you kill them? How do you get rid of them? And just why? And I don't know, Joe, do you have an answer for that?
About fruit flies?
Yeah.
I had a couple of them for a little bit here, and then I was getting scared because I'm like, they're just going to multiply. And then they just sort of went away. I don't really know what happened.
You got to get rid of all your fruit, probably. All right, I guess, guys, it's time for us to give you that number.
Okay. Everyone have their instruments.
If someone really did want to take the number down, they're probably so annoyed right now.
Because they've been holding a pen.
Waiting. Yeah. Waiting and waiting.
Okay. Oh. So the number is, and again, we want...
Nice. I was hoping you would do that.
The number is 2... The number.
Well, there's something else I want to say. We need to tell. Is there data? What's the data rates and stuff?
Your own minutes. Make sure you have enough minutes on your phone plans. A lot of them are unlimited at this time, but just maybe call. Maybe call your local provider.
Yeah. Check with your data rates and your plans.
And if you're on a family plan, check with whoever's in charge of that plan.
And there's a lot of hidden, you guys, listen, they say, unlimited texting, unlimited calling. That's not always the case, because sometimes once you go over your data, then they make your speed so slow.
True.
You can't even look anything up. Okay.
Well, don't get me started on roaming charges.
If
God. You're in a different zip code, all of a sudden you don't have the minutes you thought you had.
That's right. That's true.
And, it's probably safest to save this for nights and weekends, because most people are getting that for free.
And also, that's just that's when you do a lot of your really good thinking.
Yes.
And that may be when some of these really good stories come to you, or some of your, you may have some questions during those times.
Mm-hmm.
So
don't rush it on a lunch break, because we honestly don't want to sift through stupid answering machine messages.
Yeah, and there's no stupid questions, but please don't, send in a stupid question.
Yeah, because again, minimum, we will make fun of you on the podcast.
Yeah.
Maximum, Laura will call you out on social media.
I'll berate you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do probably at least 3 tweets, replying to myself in a row. That's how many characters I'm going to use.
That's a thread, and that's what we call a thread.
That is. That's a better term for it. Thank you so much, Joe.
2 1 3. Now, do you know that area code?
Well, that's interesting. The space you did between the 2 and the 1 and the 3.
Why is that?
Just because it seemed almost like a 1, like a country code.
No, the country. Okay. Well, I guess the country. Okay, let me start over.
Because we have international listeners.
That's true. The country code is 1 or +1. Do you have to say +1?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that works when you're dialing from another country.
All right. If you're dialing in from another country, it might be a +1, or it might just be 1. And that's the United States. And then it's 213 394 9214.
I wrote it down myself.
And that's it. You should know that, because that's the number. So again, 213-394-9214. We'll get this on our social media eventually too. But
yes, we will. We're so good at social media.
We want our listeners, the actual, loyal listeners, to really get at this inbox first.
Well, we can't wait to hear from you guys. It'll help us too, because you know what? We are alone, and we are, stuck in our houses, and we gotta have shit to talk to you guys about. And I can't spend the whole time telling you about, how I fix the timing on that vocal take I did and tuned it and took out all the mouth noises. You don't want to hear about that.
No, we definitely don't.
And that's kind of all I have right now. That's kind of all I'm working with. So yeah, I would love to hear from you guys so that we can help you and also be entertained or make fun of you.
Also, this is a public service, this show, really. It's sort of your master's degree or your doctorate degree in friendship, and it's being led by 2 overqualified instructors.
To be honest.
And so direct access to us via the phone is worth its weight in Patreon subscriptions. So 100%, please also check us out there.
Yeah. And if you're a patron, you're going to go right to the top of the list. If you call in, because we're going to get a lot of, we have a very big listener base, and we're going to get a lot of calls. It's going to be ringing off the hook. And so if you want to get to the top of that list, if you want your question answered quickly, you just go to patreon.com/heavyfriending, become a patron. You can pledge any amount of money, and you're going to get bonus episodes, and you're going to get to the top of that little question list.
And Rachel, we're talking to you. Okay.
Rach, give us those questions, baby.
My cousin Rachel, we really need you to call in.
No, she's not allowed.
I was talking to her. This has been
Heavy Friending. Thank you all so much for listening. And there may be imitators out there, imposters. But you know what? It's okay, because there can be only one. All right. It's funny. It actually makes us laugh. It makes us laugh. It's hilarious to us. Yeah. Keep trying. It's funny. It's like a joke. It's cute, though. Keep trying. Keep trying. Good for you. You do a good one.
A Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah, you've done it before.
I don't remember it.
On the podcast.
Huh.
You were like, oh.
Oh, I don't remember doing that.